What's up everybody, Hunter here, and I want to talk about two different movies today. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey and One Battle After Another. Two completely different movies. One, a romance about finding your true self, and the other, a deep dive into the nature of rebellion and people who want to make a change, for better or for worse. So let's start off a little more lighthearted with romance.
What is that?
Maybe we should go through it.
A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey is written by Seth Reese and directed by Kokonada, and let me tell you, this movie is even better than the trailer made it out to be. And I really want to make this review the spoiler-free review because I want people to go and experience this movie. And that's because I know this movie's not going to do well. There was only 3 different people in my theater, but I think my theater represented this movie. Small in scope, but big in emotion, with all of us wiping away our tears and sniffling throughout the whole film. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, and yeah, the name is a mouthful, stars Colin Farrell as David, a man who has clearly rejected the world after years of looking for the right person to be his world. But on the day of his friend's wedding, he meets a woman named Sarah, played by Margot Robbie. She is a breath of fresh air compared to David. She's vibrant, a flirt, she's the girl you're warned to stay away from. And to be fair, Margot Robbie looks the best she has ever looked in a movie, and that's saying something, so I don't blame David for a second. Despite a failed meet cute at the wedding, they find their way to each other again after the cars they got from a rental company seemingly play Cupid pairing them up, and that's when the real movie begins.
David?
Sorry, are we talking to each other now?
Do you want to go on a big, bold, beautiful journey?
Yes?
There are some movie concepts that just seem right, and this is one of them. A first date where the two characters are forced to look deep inside themselves and they are thrusted into moments and memories of their lives, showing their most vulnerable selves as they navigate how to heal and love. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey is a showcase of what we forget we need to be chasing, disguised as a romantic road trip movie. This movie has a whimsical dreamlike quality, but it never feels like a fantasy. It's not asking you to leave our world, it's just asking you to believe a little. There's no explanation for why the cars talk or for why each door they open leads to a memory, and it's better that way. Some things don't need an answer. It reminded me a lot of Groundhog in that sense, how you don't really need to know why the time loop's happening, because it's not about the why, it's about the lesson. You compare that to something like Happy Death Day to You though, which over-explains the magic, and that just kills all the wonder. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey never does that. It keeps that charm, that mystery, that sense of quiet magic, and that's what makes it so beautiful. And speaking of charm, let's talk about the humor. This movie is surprisingly funny, especially with the car rental agency scenes. Every car is a 1994 Saturn SL with a sentient GPS that guides you, and the whole place is run by Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Kevin Kline as the cashier and the mechanic. Phoebe, unsurprisingly, gets some of the funniest lines in the movie, even though she's barely in it, but that blend of dry humor and heartfelt storytelling is what works about this movie. And what really stuck about me for this romance movie is that it's not the typical you complete me love story. Most rom-coms, even the great ones, lean on the you're my other half idea. This one flips it. It's saying you can't love someone unless you fully learn to love yourself. And that's not an easy message to convey, especially when screenwriters feel forced to put in a bad guy in a road trip movie to keep conflict pushing along. But this movie doesn't do it. The conflict isn't some big bad guy or dramatic betrayal. It's internal. It's these two people wrestling with their own insecurities, fears, and blind spots. It's Sarah's energy. It's David's hesitation. They're not enemies, they're mirrors. And through this journey, they start to realize what they've been avoiding about themselves.
Why are you single?
I suppose I haven't met the right one yet. What about you?
I'm meant to be alone.
You really believe that?
Now time for the minor critique section, because a lot of people online hate this movie. They're saying it's fake, hallmarky, the whimsy's just not genuine, and maybe I just have bad taste. But I like this movie. Even though I'll admit the opening threw me off, and I mean the very opening. We start off right away with David walking out of his house. The door opens, he comes out, he's on the phone with his parents, with his dad telling him, you need to be open to experiences. That is straight out what he tells him, and it's so forced. The very first minute of the film, not even, the very first thing of the film, is a character shoving the moral lesson down your throat. You know nothing about David, nothing at all. It's just too on the nose, too direct, too fast. Which I actually find funny because the rest of the movie nails subtlety, especially in the first scene with David walking out of his front door, the very first door leading him into this adventure, or the fact that he's talking to his parents, not a partner or friends, and showing that he can't make connections. It's small stuff. So yeah, that first scene felt like it was trying too hard, but once the journey starts, man, it's smooth sailing. If you love films like Before Sunrise, and I do, that walk and talk NMC, that slow burn connection, but wish they had a little more visual wonder, a touch more magic, this is your movie. It's funny, it's touching, it's deeply human. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey might not open any extra doors for mid-budget romance movies, but even if the world doesn't show up for it, I'm glad I did, because for me, it was a journey worth taking.
I I know how this ends.
It could be the beginning.
A big, bold, beautiful journey.
Did that really just happen? Red door in the middle of the woods. Who put it there?
I was up all night with my carpenter's belt.
Alright, I'll be honest, unlike A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, this is a movie that everyone is talking about, and also unlike A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, I had zero plans to see this one in theaters. I've never really been a big Paul Thomas Anderson guy, and that first trailer, man, it looked rough. Like, generally one of those, what is this movie about kind of trailers, and it wasn't just me, everyone on the internet agreed. But then word of mouth started to spread, and you know how it goes. Suddenly it's the movie people are calling the essential viewing, so I had to go and check it out.
Important to keep your cap shunted like this so you don't accidentally detonate your charge.
Don't stop. I want you to create a show. This is an announcement, a revolution.
This thing surprised me. The movie clocks in at just shy of 3 hours, but honestly, it never drags. Paul Thomas Anderson throws you straight into this alternate America, a grim, brutal version of our world that's not too far-fetched from our own, where racism is ramped to the 10th degree and the government doesn't abide by the Posse Accommodatus Act. Immigrants are being locked up, mistreated, and shoved in detention centers at an insane rate. This has led to a revolution. People of color no longer want to be ruled under an oppressive thumb, and who band together the French 75. No more peaceful protests, but a violent means to an ugly situation led by Perfidia Beverly, played by Tiana Taylor. I'll be real, I've never seen Tiana in anything before, but after this, I'm watching everything she does next. She plays Perfidia like this intoxicating mix of danger and seduction. Someone who gets off on the chaos, on the violence, on the power. She's not some saint fighting for the cause. She's in it because she loves the adrenaline. And the movie doesn't shy away from calling her out on it. There's this moment in the movie where she has a child with Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Ghetto Bob, and he basically tells her, you've got to grow up and be a parent. And she just deflects, hides her selfishness behind anarchy. It's fascinating because she's both selfish, but also magnetic that she commands the screen. And yeah, you'll know exactly what I mean when I say she commands the screen. There's a scene with Sean Penn and a pistol that leaves the men in the audience wincing. Or she does command the screen until a mission goes wrong, and after a key member of the group is either on the run, dead, or missing, Sean Penn, playing Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw, and his crew get information on the French 75, setting Ghetto Bob and his daughter, Willa, played by Chase Infinity, on the run for the next 16 years, where unexpectedly, Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw has tracked them down once and for all.
This is Bob Ferguson. I was a part of the French 75. Steve Lockjaw just attacked my home, and I cannot remember, for the life of my only child, the answer to your question.
Now, speaking of Sean Penn, this might be his best performance in years. He plays Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw so well. He became unrecognizable. Every movement, every word, you can feel the discomfort oozing off him. He's stiff and uneasy, like he's trapped inside his own skin. Lockjaw is this guy who spent his entire life chasing acceptance from the wrong people, trying to climb into this white supremacist organization that clearly despises him as much as it uses him. And then, on top of that, he develops this twisted, fetishized obsession with Perfidia, something he can't act on, but can't shake either. It's disturbing, but in a way that makes him feel real. He's vile, he's driven, and he might be the best villain we've had all year. And one of the things I like about this movie is not just action for the sake of action. Paul Thomas Anderson layers in themes of segregation, racism, and performative activism. Perfidia herself, she's basically a walking satire of the influencer rebel, the person who fights the man for the clout, not the cause. And Ghetto Bob, he's the flip side, a person who talks a big game about change, but he doesn't have the stamina to live it. He's worn down, bitter, and lost. Honestly, if it wasn't for his daughter Willa, he'd probably given up years ago. But once Will is hunted, something in him snaps awake. That drive for cause reignites, but this time that cause is his daughter. And I love by the end, he's not trying to lead the revolution again. Those days are past him. He doesn't want to pick up where he left off because it's not for him. Ghetto Bob just wants to be Bob and support the next generation's fight, Willa's fight. Structurally, the movie plays like a giant chase. 3 parties weaving in and out, all heading towards the same explosive finale. But most of the time, these parties are kept away from each other, with Ghetto Bob and Lockjaw only sharing the screen twice, if I remember correctly, and even only speaking to each other one of those 2 times. But it feels like a rivalry decades in the making. And that desert climax, Paul Thomas Anderson of all people, Mr. Punch Drunk Love, directed one of the most intense car chases I've ever seen. It's this winding stretch of road called the River of Hills, where cars disappear and reappear over each dip, and it puts you right into Willa's shoes. You're trying to guess how close is Lockjaw to me the entire time the car chase is happening. That said, one battle after another isn't perfect. As much as I love world building in movies, some parts in this feel overstuffed. Benicio del Toro shows up late as his character called Sensei, and honestly, he doesn't add much. He shows up, saves Ghetto Bob, drops a few lines, and he's gone. A lot of people are praising him, but to me, it was a lot more of a cameo than a character. And yeah, at just under 3 hours, it could have been trimmed. The pacing's strong, don't get me wrong there, but a central A-plot gets a little fuzzy with so many subplots weaving around it. And if it wasn't for the fact that I walked out of that theater feeling like I knew every character and their motivations, I would have felt robbed of my time. It's not something I just throw on for a casual rewatch, but then again, when has a Paul Thomas Anderson film ever been for casual viewing? One Battle After Another isn't the movie of the year. That title belongs to F1, but it's definitely the movie of the month. It's brutal, stylish, full of standout performances, and with characters like Perfidia and Lockjaw, trust me, you'll be locked in from start to finish. Thank you all for watching, hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next one.